Hi everyone, my name's Cass and I'm going to be hosting Cascapades, my travel blog about the cruise industry, also a bit of travel everywhere else as well. First focusing on an upcoming cruise that I have booked, and I'm sure that some of you have as well if you're following this, and that is a Carnival Legend cruise in June of next year, which will be sailing across the UK and Icelandic fjords. Now, our first episode is about the ship herself, so the Carnival Legend. Now, to some people, the ship is a destination in itself, and to others, it's just a lovely form of transport that takes you to ports around the world. So let's start with the basics. Carnival Legend is a Spirit class ship alongside the Miracle, the Pride and the Spirit, and was officially named in 2002 by the incredible Dame Judi Dench. After multiple failed attempts at smashing the bottle of champagne on the hull, she actually ended up getting drenched in the contents, which she took quite in a funny manner. For those interested, the ship weighs 88,500 gross tonnes and has a crew of 930, with room for 2,124 berths. Now, the Carnival Legend was the first Carnival ship to offer alternative dining options. We take for granted places like Bonsai Sushi, Cucina del Capitano, Fahrenheit Steakhouses, even places like Guy Fieri's Burger Joint. But this is the first ship where those ideas were really brought to life. Also on board the ship was the first ever dedicated wedding chapel, and this is one of the few ships that still has one to this day. Also a first for Carnival was the Itinerary. So the Carnival Legend was the first Carnival ship to sail in Europe, and her inaugural cruise was actually a short 3-night cruise from Harwich in Essex in the UK to Amsterdam in the Netherlands and back again. And as we know from this cruise, that the Legend is often used for the European layout. The Carnival Legend has 12 decks. It's quite a small ship compared to some of the mammoths now, such as the Dream class, or with the Vista class as well, and the new Mardi Gras, but it was quite a large ship when it sailed out in 2002. Now, Deck 1, or the Riviera deck, is mostly interior cabins and ocean views, but also has the ship's galley, the downstairs for the Medusa's Lair Dance Club, and that of the Firebird Lounge. Deck 2, or Promenade Deck. Now, this is the lower social floor, so this is where embarkation and disembarkation will happen. And to the fore end of the ship, here we have the Follies Show Lounge. This is the lowest entrance to the show lounge, where you'll have your Playlist Productions shows, bingo, things like that, all the big shows that need a stage. Also at the front of the ship on this deck we have the Red Frog Pub, which features Carnival's own beer, which I really recommend, as well as other craft beers and beers from across the world. We also have the Legends Cafe. Now, this is where you can go for your specialty coffees if you fancy a latte or a cappuccino, rather than the filter coffee you get from the machines on Lido Deck. Also here you'll be able to get some of those massive cakes that I'm sure you have seen. If not from a previous cruise, you'll probably have seen them online or on Instagram. Massive carrot cakes, red velvet cakes, and all the sort of treats that you'd like, including those lovely chocolate dipped strawberries. We also have a sports bar on board if you want to catch a game or just be around people that like sports like yourself. There's a card room if you wish to play cards, and of course, can't forget the casino. Now, this is where a lot of people will lose a lot of time as well as money and maybe the shirt off their backs, but people enjoy it. In the central lobby here as well, you will find guest services and the shore excursions desk, as well as one of my favourite places on the ship, Bonsai Sushi. If you haven't been, you should absolutely try it. If you're a bit funny about trying new things, honestly really recommend going for it, give it a go, at least you can say you've tried it. Now, the aft of this deck has the Alchemy Bar, the Dance Club, and also the Truffles main dining room. And the main dining room is over multiple floors, but this is the lowest entrance point. Deck 3 now, or the Atlantic deck. This one has one of my favourite parts of the ship as well, the Enchanted Forest. Now, this is just a walkway around some of the building parts of the deck. However, it's themed to be like an enchanted forest with wood and designs like that. It's very much sort of ethereal, King Arthur sort of enchanted forest. And as you'll have noticed from the ship, I'm sure from pictures you've seen, the Carnival Legend is very much themed around sort of myth and legend, hence the name. Now, there's also on this deck the library, the piano bar, and of course, as I mentioned before, it has a chapel. So it's really nice to see that for people who enjoy those sorts of areas. So piano bar, always popular at night. Library, great place to be quiet, get some books, and just sit and have a nice time. Just to note that the library here is not one of the library bars you see on some of the newer ships. There's no self-service wine here, it's just here for reading. There are nice little separate desks though if you want to sit down and maybe do some work quietly as well. Work on a vacation? Well, some people do. The centre of the deck here has the fun shops, including the cherry on top sweet shop for those who are sweet tooths out there, and the aft of the deck has another floor of the Truffles main dining room. Now decks 4 to 8 are mostly staterooms, and there is also the children's clubs such as Camp Ocean and Club O2. There's also the games arcade if you want to go and play some of those games. It's a little bit smaller than some other ships, but there are still the classics there. One thing to note is it's not one of those arcades to go and win tickets, it's just there to win a good time. Deck 9 next, that's the Lido Deck, the one that we all know and love. Now at the front of the ship we have the Carnival Spa and the fitness centre where we can all burn off those chocolate melting cakes that we've enjoyed all week. The centre of the deck has 2 swimming pools as well as some places to eat and drink. Now the places to eat and drink, we have the Blue Iguana Tequila Bar, we have the Red Frog Rum Bar, as well as the Blue Iguana Cantina for those burritos, tacos and things like that, and also Guy Fieri's famous burger joint. Deck 9 is also where you'll find the buffet, which on this ship is themed and called the Unicorn Cafe. There's also a deli, if you like the sandwiches and hot dogs and things like that. There's also Seafood Corner and more such as pizza, which is 24 hours, and a salad bar as well. Now rounding out Deck 9 is Serenity. Now this is an adults only area of the ship with its own whirlpool spas, its own bar and lots of nice places to relax. Now do remember that adult means 21 and over on Carnival, not 18 and over like in the UK and most of Europe. Now as I know that this cruise that I'm going on is starting in Dover here in the UK, and so if there are many British visitors who are travelling or people from Europe, they may not be used to that. They may used to being called an adult from 18, and this will also apply to alcohol drinking as well, which I'll cover on the next episode. Now decks 10 to 12, this is where you'll find the sports areas. There's things like a running track, there's also like an outdoor gym area and things like that. You'll also have the upper floor of the fitness centre, the upper floor of the spa, and one final place of note is the steakhouse. Now this is a steakhouse like no other. It has stunning views, you can see right down into the lobby, and if you haven't seen the view and you don't mind ruining the surprise, have a Google, look at the images of the Golden Fleece Steakhouse. It is absolutely stunning. Now tune into the next episode coming soon for a breakdown on all of the dining options you have on a ship, and then in future episodes we'll start examining each of the ports on the cruise starting June 13, 2021, and of course I will start with Dover. If you like this video, do like and subscribe, and right down by the subscribe button there is a little bell. If you click on the little bell, you'll actually get a notification just to let you know when the next episode is available. Thank you, and see you on board.